What if I told you that Peppa Pig's picture-perfect family isn't as happy as it seems? On the surface, the pig family looks cheerful, always smiling, always laughing, and never dealing with real problems. But look closer, and you'll find secrets, mysteries, and even sadness hidden in plain sight. Some of it is never shown on screen, but if you pay attention to the details, and more importantly, to what's missing, you'll uncover the darker side of Peppa's world. Today, we're going to break down the hidden struggles of every single member of the pig family. And by the end, you might never look at Peppa Pig the same way again. Number 1 are the missing grandparents. Let's start with something most fans completely overlook: Daddy Pig's parents. In over 20 years of episodes, we've seen Mummy Pig's parents, Granny and Grandpa Pig, countless times. They play with Peppa, spoil George, and show up in major storylines. But Daddy Pig's parents, they've never once appeared, not a single mention. Not even a photograph on the wall. It's like they don't exist. Fans have pieced together a grim, but very believable explanation. Daddy Pig's parents passed away long before the series began. After all, it's rare for kids to have all 4 grandparents alive, and the complete absence of Daddy Pig's mom and dad seems intentional. It makes the pig family feel more realistic, but also much sadder. And that's only the beginning of what fans have noticed. Number 2. Baby Eevee wasn't planned in 2024. The series shocked everyone by introducing a brand new family member, Eevee, Peppa's baby sister. This was a huge deal because for nearly 2 decades, nothing in the pig family had really changed. But here's the twist. Eevee might not have been planned at all. When Mummy Pig's pregnancy was announced in a newspaper interview, she admitted it was a huge surprise and even said she felt overwhelmed by the idea of raising another child. That doesn't sound like something carefully planned, does it? If you've been preparing for a new baby, you don't usually describe it as a shock. It seems Eevee really was an unexpected addition, and while the family loves her, the pregnancy may have caused stress and uncertainty behind the scenes. But if Eevee's arrival was an unplanned surprise, Daddy Pig's ongoing struggles are even harder to ignore. Number 3. Daddy Pig's disrespect. Normally, the father figure in a family is treated with some level of respect. But not Daddy Pig. Instead, he's the constant target of jokes, even from his own children. In the episode The Treehouse, Peppa invents a password to enter her playhouse. That password, Daddy's Big Belly. Everyone laughs, but Daddy Pig clearly looks embarrassed. He has no choice but to say it out loud just to get inside. To make matters worse, Granny Pig makes the same joke later, forcing him to repeat it again. And then there's at the beach, where Daddy Pig gets buried in the sand. Funny enough at first, but when the family decides to leave, they actually forget him there. Mummy Pig and Peppa think they've only forgotten the hat on his head, while poor Daddy Pig is still stuck under the sand. If George hadn't noticed, they really would have left him behind. Even his wife nearly forgot about him. It's no wonder. Fans feel sorry for Daddy Pig, but his hidden pain doesn't stop there. Number 4. Aunt Doy's distance. Another strange detail lies with Aunt Doy, who appeared for the very first time in 2024 during the Thanksgiving episode. Fans were surprised, not because of who she was, but because her name had actually been mentioned way back in 2011. It took more than a decade for her to finally show up. Why such a long absence? According to the story, Aunt Doy lives in another country. But the pig family travels all the time, so distance clearly isn't the issue. That's led fans to believe there's tension between Aunt Doy and the rest of her relatives. Some even speculate that she moved far away to escape family drama and only returns once in a while so she won't be called ungrateful. But Aunt Doy isn't the only hidden family member. There might have been someone even closer to Daddy Pig who disappeared forever. Number 5. Daddy Pig's lost sister. Look closely at Daddy Pig's office and you'll notice a black and white photograph. In it are two children, a boy who looks strikingly like a young Daddy Pig and a girl who strongly resembles Peppa. But here's the strange part. These kids are dressed in old-fashioned clothes, and the picture is clearly from decades ago. So who is the girl? Fans believe she was Daddy Pig's sister. The resemblance to Peppa is uncanny, which suggests she was a close relative. But since she has never appeared in the series and has never once been mentioned, the theory is heartbreaking. Daddy Pig lost his sister before the series even began, just as he lost his parents. But the heartbreak doesn't end there, because even Peppa herself struggles with rejection inside her own home. Number 6. Peppa, the forgotten child. Peppa may be the star of the show, but when it comes to her family, she often feels like she's at the bottom of the list. George, her younger brother, seems to get all the attention. He's spoiled with toys, especially his endless collection of dinosaurs. When his favorite toy broke, he didn't just get a replacement, he got a robotic dinosaur. George's birthday was an extravagant event at a museum, complete with a life-size robotic dinosaur and a dinosaur-shaped bouncy castle. Meanwhile, Peppa's birthday, just a simple celebration at home, with Daddy Pig pretending to be a magician. Even small moments reveal the favoritism. When George gets sick and keeps everyone awake, the family is thrilled the next morning that he feels better, but no one notices that Peppa barely slept because of the noise. When Peppa argues with her friend Susie, Mummy Pig just laughs instead of helping, and now that baby Eevee has arrived, things are only getting worse. Eevee already has her own room, while Peppa has been forced to share with George for years. No wonder Peppa sometimes takes out her frustration on her little brother. Number 7. Peppa vs. George. Peppa's jealousy often shows in how she treats George. She excludes him from games, refuses to let him play with her and Susie, and even kicks him and Richard out of her treehouse just because they're boys. And George catches a cold. She barely cares about his illness at all. But when you realize how overlooked Peppa is compared to George, it's easy to understand why she feels resentful. And some fans think this favoritism has an even deeper explanation. Number 8. George adopted. One of the most intriguing fan theories is that George might not be Peppa's biological brother at all, but adopted. Why? Because his name doesn't fit the pattern. Almost every character has a name where the first and last letters match. Susie She, Freddy Fox, Danny Dog, even Peppa Pig fits the pattern. But George Pig breaks the rule. He's one of the very few exceptions. Some fans think this is a subtle clue that George isn't really part of the family by blood. Instead, Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig might have adopted him when he was very young. If that's the case, it would explain why his parents shower him with so much attention. They may be overcompensating to make sure he never feels different, but even with all this attention, George faces struggles of his own. Number 9. George's learning difficulties. George has been around for years, but his speech hasn't developed the way most kids would. He still speaks very little, mostly repeating the word dinosaur. He often struggles to respond to others and seems confused in situations where other children would be more vocal. This has led fans to believe George might have a learning difficulty or developmental delay. While the show doesn't confirm it, the signs are there, making his character much more complex than most viewers realize. And when you add it all up, you see the Pig family in a very different light. From missing grandparents and a possibly lost sister, to Daddy Pig's disrespect, Peppa's rejection, and George's struggles. The Pig family isn't perfect at all. In fact, they're surprisingly similar to real families, full of flaws, sadness, and hidden secrets. Maybe that's why the show resonates so much. Because behind the laughter and the bright colors, there's something that feels all too real, the reminder that even in the happiest looking families, life is never as perfect as it seems. So next time you watch Peppa Pig, pay attention. You might notice more than you think.